Yeah, so Kevin Gates was on Carisha, so Carisha Please from the City Girls. And that's what's up. You know, it's jiggy, it's fly, all that other shit. But I just feel like him doubling down on saying that him fucking his cousin was cool and it's something he condones and he'd do it again. That's just some lame shit. You know what I mean? And anybody who's following behind that, you on some lame shit. You on some bullshit. You know what I mean? Once you find out that's family, you should have stopped hitting her. Period. Period, gang. Because there ain't no justification. You know what I mean? There ain't no justification for all the bullshit that could come behind that. You know what I mean? You could really start some beef behind some shit like that. Because everybody in the family ain't gonna agree with that. There's gonna be people who just like, bruh, fuck it. I don't care if he got money, none of that. I see that nigga at the family reunion, I'm sparking that. About my sister, about my cousin, about my niece, about so and so, about, you know what I mean? Like, all types of shit could come behind that. You know what I mean? Some people just don't got it though. You know? So I ain't gonna take too long on that, you know what I mean? Kevin Gates, you can hold this L, my good sir. And I don't know what's up with Carisha, you know what I mean? She got a cool little platform. She got a cool little, career going for her. That's what's up. I'm proud to see that. But, that I didn't even finish the one with Diddy. That shit was, it was funny, but you know what I mean? I was done driving, so I had to get back to real life. I just didn't even get to dive into what they were really talking about. I thought it was playful banter back and forth about their relationship and things like that. That's cool. But the whole Kevin Gates shit, that kind of shit. Cause I heard it before a few years ago, and I didn't really think nothing of it. Okay, he's just saying shit for shock value. But the double down though, the double down is just something else for me because it's like that means you seen this cousin now, you probably still fuck. You know what I mean? Like wife and kids and everything. Your kids growing up thinking it's cool to smash their cousin. Daddy did it. He did it for years. He didn't give a fuck. Why should I? Type shit like that. You know what I mean? The apple don't fall far from the tree. So if anybody else coming behind him with his lineage has any types of other gentle feelings on incest, don't be surprised. You know what I mean? But in the meantime, hold this L, my good sir. So next thing we're gonna talk about is Kodak Black getting arrested again for prescription pills. I feel like we all know he got shot a couple months ago. I mean, dude's even putting it in songs now. Those were his prescriptions. But the getting caught in a car without registered tags and all that other stuff, really, Kodak? I don't know if somebody just added that in there or whatever. But the articles that I read, the things that I read, even the police report could be fake at this point. Who knows? You know what I mean? But I just feel like everything that I was reading was saying that he was on some bullshit. Bro was on some bullshit. I don't know if he was really trying to live his lyrics out here, trying to knock down the op. He one of them people that just can't resist doing what the fuck he want to do. You know what I mean? And I know that's hard when you got money and you out here and you on the top, you on the chart shit. You on Kendrick Lamar album. You on all types of shit. You on everything. You back for everything. You know what I mean? So I get it. You on your wave. You doing your thing. But at the same time, it's a difference between doing business and maintaining it and, building that and doing bullshit just to entertain yourself. From what I understand, he was solo. So it's like, for you to be solo and be that hot and be on that type of hype, come on, man. You gotta be moving smarter than that. You gotta be treating yourself like a commodity. You gotta really be treating yourself like a boss. You gotta really be, because, that time it was a cop, but it could have been some haters. It could have been some ops. It could have been somebody who caught you in an unarmored car. You know what I mean? Something like that. Just because you want to be hood, you want to slide, you want people to see that you out here. You know what I mean? It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. I, man, it ain't worth it. We done lost a lot of good ones, especially in these past 5, 6 years. We done lost a lot of good ones. So it'd be a shame to lose Kodak just because he wanted to go have some fun and slide to a little thought house or something like that, or go pick up some more drugs or something like that, or even shit if he was going to himself to pick up his prescription. You got assistants and shit for shit like that. You know what I mean? You got family members and shit for shit like that. There's no reason why you should have to be out in these streets by yourself getting detained by cops sitting on the sidewalk when you a boss. You worth several millions. You know what I mean? When you worth M's out here, you gotta really be protecting yourself. You're really a value to the community. Shit, if you ain't even gonna do it in America, you could go back to Haiti and be a value to your community out there. Really live like a king. Really do what the fuck you want to and move the government and do all types of shit like that. But your mind frame ain't on that. Your mind frame is on doing this American thing, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Do this American thing, but just remember, you got a home country you could go back to and really ball out and really, you know what I mean, put on the people that's out there. You know what I mean? It's all types of shit that's cutthroat that's going on out there, and you could be a wedge between that. I understand you and Jack Boy got y'all situations. You know what I mean? Y'all like jabbing at each other in songs. It's playful. It's cool. It's making y'all a lot of money. But at the same time, y'all could click up and really do some shit for Haiti. Really do some shit for people who really need it. You know what I mean? Your country. So just think about that. While you're out here sliding in the streets with, you know, your prescription pills and all that other stuff, that's cool and all. It's whatever. But as a 30-year-old man, I'm just here to tell you, you're only getting older. So the moves you make, even though they might be fun, they only getting lamer. You know what I mean? Make some jiggy ass moves. Make some real fly shit. Make some real hot shit happen. You know what I mean? You got the influence, you got the power, you got the money to really do that right now. But until then, hold this L, my good sir. So, next subject we're gonna get into T-Pain on Tupac getting ate up. I understand T-Pain's been in this music industry for a long time. It's gonna go down as a legend. One of the best to ever do it. You know what I mean? But I just feel like I'm not gonna say that he don't know his music, because he clearly does. But he clearly don't know lyrics like that. Pac clearly wasn't trying to be a lyricist like that. He wasn't like on no Wu-Tang Clan level. He wasn't on no trying to drop bars and, you know, bomb atomically and shit like that. He wasn't trying to do all the Delphonic shit all over again. He was trying to be the fly nigga of his time, just like how Moneybagg Yo was being the fly nigga of his time. There's no difference in how people try to portray themselves as this top guy. You know what I mean? This Tony Montana persona of the underdog who made it on top. Pac was the underdog who made it on top, and who was just making the best out of his situation. And he was creative with the songwriting and knew how to do different, you know, different genres of hip hop. Before he was ahead of his time. So now I don't think if he was around these days with today's act that he'd get ate up. Because a lot of people today lack the creativity, which he had a lot of. You don't see a lot of people having that type of range where they go from doing I Get Around to a Brenda's Got a Baby to a Dear Mama to a, you know what I mean, America's Most Wanted to a Hit 'Em Up. You don't see too many people having that much range. People try to have range, but either they sound like, okay, he's trying to do some R&B shit, or he's trying to do some hard trap shit, or, you know, some hard gangster shit, or some hard drill shit. Like, niggas ain't really that creative these days. It's an artist thing. You know what I mean? I don't really blame it on the individuals. I blame it on them trying to feed the market. Everybody wants to get rich off of this. So there's a recipe to getting rich these days, and they're seeing only certain things succeed. They're not seeing them being themselves all the time succeeding. So it's not something that is worth putting in the marketing for. It's kind of like, you know, you see what's in the vending machine before you pay for it. So they're trying to be something that's in the vending machine. And to do that, you got to mimic the other products they think. But you really just have to be yourself. And if that's something that catches and that's something that blows, it's something you can market into. And it's something you can market into. But Tupac getting ate up? Nah. Tupac could still be dropping gems. He'd be dropping gems on shit. He'd have Jay-Z out here still, dropping albums back to back because he'd have to compete. The whole rap game would have been a different type of industry. Double disc albums would have been the norm. The norm because of Tupac and like people like DMX and shit like that. People would have had to step their rap game up because he was just getting started, to be honest. All the shit that we got from him, he was just getting started. I mean, we see how Lil Wayne did it. You know what I mean? He did it and then he just drops the album wherever the fuck he wants to now. You know what I mean? But it would have been like that. He would have just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually that bubble would have burst. And he would have just rode the wave down and just, into his iconhood. And, to quote Batman, you live long enough to become the villain. You know what I mean? So at some point you would have seen some people try to tear Pac down again. So as far as Pac getting ate up, nah. Because that's just fuel for him to come back harder on this next album and win back the crowds and shit like that. You know what I mean? So, T-Pain, in the meantime, I'm going to have to give you this L, my brother, because I think you are incorrect. I think you are vastly incorrect. You're underestimating the trajectory that Pac's career was on. You're underestimating the type of artist that he is. And you're underestimating the fact that people lack creativity in a large source. You know what I mean? They're only drawing from so many things. There's even people who, sound like other people for a reason, and there's a whole plethora of that, and they think it's okay. I can't tell you how many people sound like Gucci Mane at the beginning of their career, and then they have to find themselves through other artists before they find out that, I'm like this. And then eventually they'll drop a Pac type album where they reference themselves in Pac or something, or Machiavelli type stuff like that. So I don't think he get ate up. I don't see nobody else leaving a mark like that on the culture. You know what I mean? It's not like Nipsey and all that other stuff. Nipsey was different. You know what I mean? But Nipsey had a lot of music that a lot of people didn't listen to, so they don't know how diverse of an artist he is either. That's still a story yet to be told, to be honest. You know what I mean? So hold this L in the meantime. We'll give you that. So while we brought up Nipsey, let's bring up the Nipsey situation. So recently, Eric Holder has been charged with murder one in California. The driver testifying against him thing, I don't really feel. Okay, I get it. Cooperation, snitching, I get it. But high profile case. I don't really feel like the driver being like, oh, I didn't know what he was going to do, was like a legitimate statement. You know this guy is known for killing people. Why are you even with him? You know what I mean? It's not the first time that he done sparked off at somebody and you know what I mean? Shit done got funky with bruh. He got a reputation to the point where he got smut on his rep. So it's like, come on, man. Like, you know Buddy is on bullshit at all times. You know that. So I don't think her not getting no time or nothing like that. I ain't heard nothing about that. I don't think that's on some up and up shit. I still even think the court proceedings is on some bullshit. You know what I mean? Just to be honest, because it's like, come on, man, this man was a figure to the community, and it's like, damn near 3 years later, y'all trying to have these type of court proceedings. I get what was going on at the time, but come on, man, this man got murdered in broad daylight, a brazen murder. Come on now, y'all ain't do nothing about that, and then she out here living her life and shit like that. Then nobody, not even detained, then not even getting no time, none of that. You know what I mean? At the end of this shit, I understand Eric Holder got sentenced to, you know what I mean, the years he got sentenced to, but there was an accomplice to this murder. There was a driver. You see what I'm saying? Now, if I drove somebody to a bank and they went and robbed the bank, whether I knew they was robbing the bank or not, if I drive them away from that scene, I'm an accomplice to that bank robbery. You see what I'm saying? And they gonna punish me to the maximum extent of the law. So I don't, it just don't sit right. You know what I mean? I'm throwing L's all over this whole thing. Judicial system is gonna have to hold these L. The penal system gonna have to hold this L. You know what I mean? Like, okay, the ego of some of these situations. You know what I mean? This situation is starting things that got more drama going on in other people's lives. Cowboy going through his shit that he going through for doing the interviews and speaking up on what happened in the situation. He's just trying to clarify so old boy don't get off. And some people see that, some people don't see that. And some people see it and still don't give a fuck. They like he still spoke. You know what I mean? Or we should have handled it in the streets type shit. Well, some shit ain't gonna get handled in the streets. Say he get out, he get put into witness protection and shit like that, and then they scoot him off somewhere. Or he just so happened to wiggle away, you know what I mean, like he did before. It's clearly somebody is helping this dude. You know what I mean? End up in goddamn Africa somewhere, living a whole new life. Nah, man, that's not what's about to happen for somebody who took out a major figure in our community and shit like that. Come on, man. This man had all types of shit going on. He had not just the rap shit, not just the clothing shit. He had tech shit. He had shit for the future. He had shit that was really going to shape a way out for some of the people who claim to be gangbangers or claim to be lost in the city of Los Angeles. You know what I mean? Or at least in the LA area, in certain parts of the LA area. I just feel like a boss should have been treated a lot better than that. A big figure in the neighborhood should have been treated a lot better than that. That's just how I feel. I don't feel like this situation is just at all. I don't feel like, even with the murder one, I don't feel like it's all the way right, to be honest. And it's not just the whole driver not getting no time shit. I feel like they should really deep dive into the whole situation because Nipsey had been getting harassed by the police for years. They've been coming through trying to shut them down for years, and now this is a way to try to shut them down. You know what I mean? In a major way. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give big L's to the penal system and all that on this because y'all just mad bogus. I just feel like y'all should really be, what's up. Y'all should really be investigating y'all folks because y'all know this ain't gonna end here. This ain't one of those things that's just gonna blow over and people just gonna forget. Something's gonna leak. Something's gonna happen. You know what I mean? And something's going to jump off where it's going to lead back into, people getting more time. Honestly, I think the LAPD is going to get exposed on some shit, to be honest. You know what I mean? But until then, they can hold this L. So speaking about court proceedings, R. Kelly getting 30 years. Interesting. Now, I know people have strong feelings about R. Kelly. You know what I mean? In a positive and negative way. There's kind of no one way about it. Either you on one side or the other. Me, I like R. Kelly. I'm not necessarily in agreement with all of his actions and things. Because there ain't no way I'd have a house full of women who I don't know and don't love for real around me. There's no way. There's no way I'm this multimillionaire recording artist and a musical genius who can't read or write, and then I'm having all these women around me and just giving away my wealth. Not happening like that. This is already on some lame shit to start with. You know what I mean? And him not having real people in his corner was a further sin on the situation. You know what I mean? Now, there's people who seem to have come out that seem to have his back for real. You know what I mean? And then there's a lot of imposters who have come out as well. Some of the people who seem to have his back would be like Sharon Winbush, would be like Simple P. You know what I mean? Some of the people who seem to be against him would be like Choke No Joke, would be like Levi, who came out and said he was his cousin or some shit like that. That surviving R. Kelly girls, all types of shit. All types of shit. I mean, the people who was editing, the chick who headed forth the whole witch hunt on him with the whole surviving R. Kelly shit, man, she should be sued. She should be locked in prison. They Bill Cosby hips, man. In the judicial system, they jump steps to get him. Which I'm seeing is okay with a lot of people. We don't care if they skip steps to get a black man. We don't care. No matter what the situation is. As long as you got him. Oh, you got him? Cool. We'll deal with everything else later. You know what I mean? That's kind of how situations is being treated, and people are just so used to us being abused that they're just okay with it. It's a docile situation for them. They're desensitized. It's just like, oh, that happened to you, black man? That's what's up. Nah, nah. I hope he gets an appeal, and I hope his appeal is granted to get that man free, because I just felt like they railroaded him. 30 years saying he was sex trafficking women. R. Kelly ain't smart enough to run no sex trafficking ring. He was satisfying his own, head. He was doing his own thing. He was just a goofy about it. You know what I mean? There ain't no other ways about it. I understand having a insatiable appetite. I understand it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you gotta have some goof and finesse about you. You gotta have some game. You gotta be able to, hotel, condo, your place, out of town. You know what I mean? I'm not bringing all these bitches to my goddamn house. You're not knowing where I live, and I'm married to bitches, and we have 3 sons and all that stuff. Reckless, dumb behavior. I couldn't see myself doing it. You know what I mean? And it's fucked up to say it, but the only other person, the person who I would move like, but not move like, because clearly that situation even still turned out bad, was Kevin Samuels. I'm not saying I'm about to be paying prostitutes or shit like that, because I'm definitely not doing that. But I'm definitely going to be selective with who I bring around and all that other stuff. I'm not bringing them back to my spot or nothing, but I'll bring you back to a nice hotel room or something like that. No, not going to your spot, because I'm not trying to get robbed or shot or none of that shit. Kidnapped. These are the type of things R. Kelly should have been having on his mind when he was bringing bitches to his house and keeping them there, or letting them stay there and letting them get comfortable and stuff, giving them allowances and butts and tits and yo, I get it. You've been having money for a minute. You've been doing this stuff longer than I've been alive. But I'm not doing none of that goofy stuff for none of these bras, just for the simple fact of I know ain't none of them gonna be loyal. They gonna turn on you. They gonna get what they want even when you're not trying to give them what they want. They gonna settle for something. And I'm not letting you settle for the destruction of me. I'm a grown man. I got things to do with my life, man. I'm trying to live it out here. I didn't really build the empire off this music shit. There's no reason why R. Kelly shouldn't be a billionaire off his music. There's no reason. You know what I mean? He's already made bad contracts and bad dealings with people in the past. Now I'm not knowing how many of them people was women negotiating the contracts that was, getting to R. Kelly, so maybe his defenses were low. I'm not knowing if they just pushed a piece of paper that they knew that he couldn't read in front of his face and just got him that way. What I am knowing is that nobody's been in his corner to really help him, protect him, and, secure the bag in a major way. They just living off the earnings of a dumb nigga. And that's what's up. I see you. But now that he locked up, fighting for his appeal, where they at? They not fighting for all the times he was loyal to them. They not there for, you know what I mean? Some people are just along for the ride. And now the ride's over. So, all the people involved in the R. Kelly situation, y'all can hold this L. The judicial system trying to railroad this man, y'all can hold this L. The chick who made surviving R. Kelly and all surviving R. Kelly girls, y'all can hold this L. And I hope that man gets his appeal, man. I hope there's something they could do about that, because, it's going to make a precedent for the way that they're going to treat us over the next 60 to 100 years. But yeah, so while I'm speaking on the Kevin Samuels situation, let's talk Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels was a real inspiration to us. As a black man, I can honestly say I've heard men talk like that before. Serious men. You know what I mean? But it's coming from a place of love, to be honest. And I don't think a lot of people get that. Some people who grew up with a daddy understand that. Some people who speak man understand that. But people who just, want it their way 24/7 or want to live in la la land, they don't want to understand the consequences of nature. We all have a role here. And he was just saying, there's a lot of shit out of whack and people need to get it back on track. And people listened. Rather, you thought the negativity didn't garner positivity, it did. Because for as many people as took it negative, there was 3 times as many people who took it positive. There's still that. It's just that voice is not focused on. There's people whose lives were shaped around what Kevin Samuels was doing. Now the fact that he went out the way that he did with a woman that he didn't know too well, and that's cool. She was a cool little chica. But, there was clearly things about her that he didn't vet. And that is what it is. At this point, I'm not about to damn Kev because that's not what we're here for. He was an inspiration. You know what I mean? People called him the Godfather. He gave y'all game. He showed y'all how to dress. He taught y'all what, smell goods to put on and all that. You know what I mean? He got at the fellas and then he got at the ladies. He was on some real player shit. You know what I mean? I could dig it. He even gave props to the pimpin' whenever he would use his stuff. Shout out to Free, shout out to Sinful to P. He was O'Shea Du Jackson and them folks. Fuck with O'Shea. You know what I mean? I just felt like there should have been something, there should have been something that was better going on with his situation with old girl that he ended up dying with. Rather it was hypertension like they're saying, or if she hit him with them drops. I just feel like there should have been a better situation for Kev presented for him to get up out of here. And definitely a better position, a better situation had with his funeral service. Because that was just shout, to say the least. For all that he's given to the world, I just feel like he should have got more back. To be honest. The man he didn't have an easy life. I'm not saying he's going to have a worse life because I don't know all the intricate details of Kevin's life. Getting cancer at a young age, being divorced twice, having to start life over, and making yourself into a multimillionaire and not even really getting to it, fully enjoy it, dying a year or two into that. He was cheated. You know what I mean? Dying while you enjoying yourself, cheated. However you think that was done, cheated. You know what I mean? I'm going to have to give all the people online talking shit about Kev that big old L. I'm going to have to give all the people who think, that he didn't give anything good to society a big old L. And I'm really just going to have to give all the people who never stood to hear what he was saying a big old L, because you missed a shining star. That was your shooting star right there. That was your comment. You missed it. You know what I mean? Go back and review some of that game. Go back and get some of them gems, because honestly, there was some things on there that was said that you're not going to get again. It's not going to happen. I'm not about to do it for y'all. I don't even like y'all that much. As much as y'all think that he was a harsh person, I'd be way worse, because I'm letting y'all have it. I'm cussing y'all out. I'm giving y'all the ye old fashioned curse words. It's going to happen to you. Your feelings going to be hurt. On some real shit. You know what I mean? Kevin Samuels is a legend. You know what I mean? R.I.P. to that man. But yeah. So, I mentioned recently something about appeals. So let's get down to some other jackass news, man. This whole Amber Heard filing for appeal on the whole Johnny Depp situation. Just get a man his money. I know you ain't. You probably don't got it. You know what I mean? But you kind of started the situation, and I just feel like you took that L in the courtroom. Just accept it. You know what I mean? You did all types of shit to this man. And it was proven in court. You shit in that man's bed. That wasn't a prank. You know what I mean? Johnny Depp is no saint by any means, especially with the shit that was aired out in court, especially some of them text messages. He met a pretty little Russian, a sublime little Russian. That man, me and my girl, we be over here weak. We be over here crying, just like recanting some, just you. I said recanting, reciting some of the things that were said in that court. You know what I mean? Just he was on some Trump shit with the grabber, not grab her by the pussy, but he was like, damn, shouldn't I be able to take the bitch? Shouldn't I be able to? Ain't the bitch mine? Should I be able to fuck her when I want to? No, Johnny, it don't work like that. You know what I mean? But I get it. But still, filing for appeal, you lost. Give him the $15 million. Get on with your life. You fucking with Elon, remember? You know what I mean? Like, get it up out of him. Give him an IOU or something. That's Trump change to him. I don't understand what's going on with this. I understand he banked up. He got islands, he got movie deals, he got all this other stuff. But you still winning that man's life and acting like there was going to be no consequences when you fucking with a high-profile A-list actor. There's going to be consequences. Johnny Depp is like a national monument to a lot of people. You know, he's like a national treasure. You're not about to just come in this man's life and abuse him and tease him about his mother dying and stuff. It's just a lot of insensitive, cruel shit that's going on. But like I said, our generation of women are a lot different than prior generations of women. You know what I mean? They're a lot less insensitive. They're a lot less, you know, oh, I care about your emotions type shit. There's not going to be a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of calling you a bitch and testing your manhood and making you feel like if you don't knuckle up on somebody, then you weak or something like that. Trust me, I've been through it. I've been there. You know what I mean? That's not the situation at all times. And, you know, I applaud him for not doing something crazy like putting her in a hospital, because some of the shit that she was saying, man, I know some people who wouldn't stand for it. Let's just say that. Both male and female. You know what I mean? There's just so much that was going on in that. You know, who covers it perfectly, I feel, is the lead attorney. That's who I followed when I was, you know, watching it. I was watching the lead attorney, and he was going in on that. Then the bottom, the jawline, the braid swirl, Johnny. Was it worth it, Johnny? Was it worth it? Now we gotta ask Amber. Was it worth it, Amber? Was it worth it? 15 million? I mean, honestly, the man asked for, I think it was like 50, and then she countered with 100. And I'm just like, why are you even asking for money when you're the one who came in destroying his life? You got $7 million in a divorce settlement that you said you were going to donate and never donated. You got banked up. You could be making moves out here and stuff like that. Just get that man this money. Get that money up over time, and then, you know, start a little payment plan and start getting him his money. Period. Hold this L. Big L's. You know what I mean? That's just how that shit's gonna break down, man. Not everybody's gonna win every case just because they think that they pretty and they can, you know what I mean, get away with all this other shit. Now, Johnny coming up on $300 million in Disney deal, that's just the icing on the cake. You know what I mean? Not only do you have to give that man his money, but he don't really need it. It's just to prove a point. He wasn't going to let you get away with coming into his life and fucking him over like that. And I agree that he was in every right to do that. Because who are you? You know what I mean? Somebody holding an L. That's what that is. You know? So, last topic before I get up out of here. We have to talk about a little bit of hip-hop. I just don't feel like it's complete doing that L report and really talking about some hip-hop. So recently, you know, I tear through albums. I really do. And this one was a doozy, because it was like 27 motherfucking tracks on this album. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But Yo Gotti and them, the CMG roster, they dropped the Gangsta's Art album. Shit, that shit's like a triple disc album at this point. It was pretty solid though. I fuck with it. I fuck with him signing a lot of the acts that he signed. I didn't even know he signed some of these people. I could care less about the whole Glorilla thing. That's cool and all. I'm happy for her, but I'm not impressed by the music aspect of it. I get it. It's the City Girls approach. He trying to get his own wave of that going. Cool. It's. I see where you're going with that. I see where you're going with that, Yo Gotti. I see where you're going, but I just feel like him signing like Mozzie and Block Boy JB and stuff like that. That was a good move. And Lil Papa, that was a good move because you trying to cover your corners. You know what I mean? You got your youth with him and Doug, with Lil Papa and Doug. You got your gangster shit with, you know what I mean, people like Black Youngster and Mozzie and shit like that, and Moneybagg Yo. And then you got your dance shit with like Black Boy JB, and he still be on some gangster shit, but he do some crunk shit. He give you some shit that you can really, you know, get kind of crunk to. You know what I mean? Kind of, you know what I mean? Spin the block on some other shit on. You know? So, I just feel like Yo Gotti in a good position with this shit. And that's what's up. The album was a motherfucker. Like I said, it was long. My favorite song on that, damn, I'd have to look at the track list to it, but man, I think it was with Yo Gotti and Mozzie. I think it was Yo Gotti and Mozzie. That one, and then one of those little tracks that Lil Papa did by himself. That was pretty cool. But other than that, I give the album probably like 6 out of 10. Just because I gotta listen to it, I guess again, and really just be on some thug shit, really just want some mob shit, because it's just really not how I be flowing most of the time. Just to keep it real, like, I like a lot of mob shit, I like a lot of shit like that, but I just don't feel like the album was cohesive as I needed it to be. Kind of went up and down and up, and it didn't have like a flow where you feel like, okay, this kind of leads to where they're all kind of contributing to it sounding like this. It was just kind of on some, everybody just sent in some tracks and then we put it together and call it gangsters art. I get it. That's what's up. It's your first one out there with the whole gang. You know what I mean? Hopefully the next one, part 2 or something, or the deluxe is just like doper. Oh, I think one of my favorite songs was like 42 Doug song. Yeah, I fuck with it. He cool. But yeah, so that's been the L Report for today, folks. Hopefully, you know, you guys like and share and all that other stuff. Subscribe, like, and share. Get me out there. And I'll see you next time on the L Report. Throw your L's up.